Yes.
Doing her thing though.
Just doing a thing.
doing her
If
thing,
you
though.
are just tuning in, this right here is Radio 254, and you're tuned into the biggest, the baddest, the freshest show across East and Central Africa. This is the Quorum Show.
Oh,
And
yeah.
You know what we always say? Once you go Quorum,
You don't come back.
You can't come back
And
from
I'm
this
your
one.
boy Abu and Mr. Sam Muthondi, and you already know what we gonna do to keep it real here at the Quorum.
Yeah,
Tunajua energy tumeanza nayo ni high.
By the way, my name is Teddy Trivod Peter. We are your hosts.
together with Biko and Yashinsky right there with Cabs. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Manze, Kenyan music all the way to the world. And right now, tumeongea na Deron, tumeongea na Mihai, and we got another individual in the studio. Kama mnamuona pale www.twitch.com, akona manywele kama zangu.
Watu wa mandevu wanatusumbua sana huko hivi.
Ukiona mtu akona ndevu, that is a very wise person. True. Very, very wise person.
Akili ndo ndo.
Itabidi muweke dready. Leeni dready. But Ian, man, thank you so much for joining us. We are humbled. Unajua, yani, we are humbled. When I was going through your portfolio, manze, I was blown away. So I'm going to give you this opportunity to just introduce yourself to the people. Tell us your name, where you're from, and what you do.
Okay, cool. Thank you again for inviting me to this session. My name is Ian from House Mwaura, first of my name. Marketing is my profession. I like hiking, love hiking.
Awesome.
Weightlifting or bodybuilding here and there because, you know, we have to stay healthy.
Kabisa.
Eating healthy things like my friend here.
Like Othello's cookies.
Yes. I have been in the marketing and tech space for about 12 years now. Wow. I'm straight out of high school. I started interning for small businesses here and there so I can learn the ropes and what the market needs. And I think after a year or two of being out in the market, na kupata character development, I went now back to school and I realized that I want to understand this technology space. And should I say it's fortunately or unfortunately at that given point in time, the only school that was offering that was, you know, Strathmore at scale based on the market dynamics and what was happening.
Yeah.
That's why I met my good friend here, Mihai. So that was years ago. Currently, I've worked for different organizations. Okay, cool. I was the sub-Saharan chief of marketing at Jumia. In the day 2012, 2013, 2014. When we were starting out, it was a table like this, the CEO and a couple, the head of logistics. It was KYM. It was proper KYM. There were tiny laptops, you know, trying to set up the business. But it is 10 years later. Then I moved to what did I move to? I moved to another fintech called Ocharge. Ocharge was trying to build something similar to Paytm and Free Charge in India, setting it up here in Africa. But went to the dynamics of you know, what businesses go through. Sometimes you run out of funding, sometimes you need regulatory approval, and that's a headache. But they relocated to Nigeria in West Africa because business was fairer there. Because
Was it the policies or just the market?
In Kenya, it's telco-led. A lot of fintech startups struggle because fintech is supposed to support the existing financial service industry, which in most cases usually banks. But in Kenya, banks don't lead anything. It's telcos. Banks are catching up.
Yeah.
And competing with existing telcos was quite a task, and you need a war chest of funding. So Ochard did not do very, very well in Nairobi, but it's doing very well when it relocated to that part of the Africa. And then I moved to Maidawa. I'm sure some of you have been.
Maidawa, I've interacted with them with Technobrain. They had that subcontracted Technobrain as their customer service team.
Yeah, so I worked with Maidawa for a while when it was still... I have worked with the early stage businesses. Like early stage. Before Maidawa became the big brand, everybody...
You're actually the right person to now talk to in regards to start, because today's conversation is about startups. And we want to know what these guys need to do when it comes to actually starting that business, and you're into marketing, and you have, like a huge experience, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about when you're getting into the market, when you've already established, these guys have already established their products, they've already established their niche, they know what space they want to get into. And now they want to talk to a person like you who will help them get to the customers, which is now the market. How do you start to engage, How do you advise, or how do you help out a company who has now to that stage? Everything else is sorted, the licenses, they have the physical space, or they're online, everything is good, but now they just want to be able to connect to the customers.
Okay. So before even you start the licensing and all the statutory or legal requirements for setting up a business, the first thing you have to identify is what problem you're solving in the market.
Yeah.
You can't say you want to start, you have to identify what the gap is. And that means a little bit of research to identify where to place yourself, what your solution will come to solve, right? A lot of people see research as a wasted expense, but it's actually an investment.
So this is the backbone of the
You have to
farm
do a
or
bit of research to
business.
understand what it is that is available in this market, what it is that consumers are exposed to, what do they understand, and what your solution will actually bring to the table. Let me give an example of a startup I was involved in from the get-go, and I found the solution to be brilliant. When we started Mwaura, this guy, he's a hedge fund guy. He came to do some social impact work in West Africa and East Africa. Then he realized when people are buying malaria queen, ukisikia unaumwa na kichwa, unasikia vizuri, unaenda tu hapa kwa kiosk, unasema unataka malaria queen. First of all, hiyo malaria queen sio malaria queen. Hiyo ni mtu tu ametengeneza particle akaipackage vizuri.
Hizi ma placebo hizi.
Yeah, it's placebo, and then you think you're taking legitimate drugs. And that is a problem in Africa, not just Kenya. It's
We
a
have
huge
placebos.
We have a lot of placebo drugs, right? And they don't go through the necessary checks and balances. You'd find, this is research done, that I think, is it 38 to 45% of drugs in a typical pharmacy are not legitimate. They have not gone through the checks and balances, the testing and whatnot. And it's because it's also a cost, taxation, what issue, and that creates a really, really big
It's actually,
problem.
the problem is the process before you actually the legal process before you get to saying now this is actually a legal product now.
Not necessarily the legal process, even the supply chain issue also directly from the manufacturer.
Okay.
So for example, give me an example of an antibiotic, out of Brufen is a painkiller. Yeah. Amoxicillin is an example. That's an example. Augmentin also an example. There are so many variations of that in the market. And by the way, I don't represent Mwaura. I'm just explaining a solution that. So Mwaura's solution is very, very simple. Simplify the supply chain, because there are 10 or 15 different processes where people have to go through for the drug to come from the manufacturer all the way to you as a consumer. Right? So Mwaura's process had reduced that 10 or so steps that someone goes through to at least 3. Mwaura would import the drugs themselves directly from the manufacturer, and they will come with a seal. Venye inakuja na seal hapa hii.
Fungwa kila kitu.
Imefungwa. So the seal will come with a Mwaura seal. Right? So when you order the product from Mwaura, you will be the first person to open it from the manufacturer.
Mwaura does not even get to tamper with just to make sure that it is available.
I'm marketing Mwaura.
Ni sawa. I get you.
I just want to explain.
understand
See, that's a problem
that.
they're trying to solve. So as a business, when you're starting, when you're setting up a business like that, the research bit is important, right? And you need to understand that this is the problem that you have in the market. Also costs. You'd find that an augmenting was like 1,500, but when you import it directly and you come sell it directly to the consumers, you slash the cost by maybe 30 and 40%. That's why majority of the stuff that you find on a platform like that, also on Jumia and all these other platforms, they're cheaper because they're sourced directly from the manufacturer. So you as a young business person who wants to set up something like that, this is my example of why research is important to understand. This is the gap you're solving. You're solving in the market.
That's wonderful to actually be able to know this is where I'm getting my product from.
Yeah.
And if I use the normal processes, I will actually have to go through this number of people, which will make my product more expensive and even harder to get to. But if I can be able to cut those, let me just use this loose word, brokers, and go directly to the manufacturer, you can actually be able to sort out your clients, affordable products and even faster for them to get to. That is amazing. What else do you do, man? Because
I worked in non-profits for a while, and that gave me an understanding of how these NGOs operate both at a local, regional, international level, and how to do social impact at scale. And that gave me an insight out how to run sustainable businesses. So sustainable means people, profit, planet. Ideally, how it benefit people? Are you making any decent profit, and is it contributing to the betterment of our planet? All right. A lot of businesses also do not think in those lines, because the majority of times it's actually profit, then people, and planet if regulation requires. For example, I really applaud what Mihai is doing with this product, right? Because this one is first people, then planet, then profit. It's already sustainable from the get-go. He's thought through the whole supply chain. I'm like, first of all, people struggle, and this is just from the 5-minute pitch he gave me. People struggle. Sugar is not supposed to be a consumed product. All right, it's creating. Sorry if I'm stepping. It's poisonous, right? And we already have an influx of pre-diabetics or diabetics at such an early age when it shouldn't be. But at the same time, people need to eat nice things and sweet things, right?
We need to enjoy our food.
So that's a gap in the market. That's already a gap in the market. So how do you create products that are healthy, that are sustainable, that someone who is a diabetic, have you ever seen what diabetics eat? Right? It's terrible, man. Like it's like eating sand. But they have to eat that because they already their life is already at risk. All right. So he came and he thought, we need to have products where consumers who are already experiencing this can enjoy. Sugar-free, healthy. For example, he walked me through some of the ingredients he uses. The quality of butter he has. Right, the quality of sugar he uses, the flour he uses, he already makes sure that it's. So when you're buying this at, top tier cost, you already knowing you're investing in your health.
The
something
quality
like
is amazing. Everything is good.
Sustainability is not something we think through as early stage businesses, and something also I find that is important when young people are starting up businesses. Sustainability is important. Think about how this is going to benefit the planet. Think about this is going to affect the people that you're reaching out to. And most importantly, also, the profit side of the profit is important. Cash flow is king. But at the same time, think about the economies of scale long term. Do you know what a short-term business plan for people who think, for societies that think long-term look like in places like Japan? In Kenya, a short-term business plan is about 6 months to 2 years at best. Maximum 2 years.
2 years is actually long, but
it's
2
actually
years,
long, right? In places like Japan, a short-term business plan is 20 years.
That's
right?
That's a lifetime. That's someone's lifetime, and
that's short-term. That's short-term, right? But when you come here, 6 months and you've not cracked your business model, then you don't know what you're doing. That to me is someone who does not think about sustainability. Look at all the products we have here. Where are they made? Where is this made from? Where is this made from? Most likely Japan. Almost all the products that we have here. Japan, because to them they plan with sustainability in mind. And that's something we don't think about because we want to make that quick buck so we can. It's a scarcity mindset when you think about it. It's scarcity mindset. We don't come from a place of abundance and thinking about how this will benefit generations after us.
Nice. Talking about mindset, we had asked Mihai and Darren about how their upbringing shaped their financial understanding. Were you raised by a rich dad or poor dad? The way you have read that book, Kiyosaki.
Yeah.
Were you raised by a rich dad or poor dad?
I'm not sure. That's forgive me, but that's a bit of a defeatist approach for this reason.
Oh, yeah?
Rich dad, poor dad is classist.
Yes.
Economically. I want to answer it in this way. I
yeah?
was raised by a dad who did the best he could with what he knew. Right?
All right.
You see, the information that he was exposed to at that given point in is not like us. It's very limited.
Yes.
You're working with this information, I need to do this much.
So is go to college, get a job,
Yes.
get money, get paid.
That's
All right.
what they knew at that given point in time.
Nice.
It worked actually for them.
Worked for them, for that generation.
Nice.
Is that poor dad? Is that rich dad? Honestly, I don't want to label it
Yeah,
as such.
it's-
As
the
Kiyosaki
labels,
would,
yeah.
They're labels that maybe would make sense.
It's just cute labels.
Yeah, but I'd like to think that my dad did the best he could with what he knew at that given point in time to raise me and my siblings, right? And he did a fantastic job. Right now, times are different.
Yeah.
Right, are very, very different.
Nice.
The level of access to opportunity and resources are
Information.
not the same.
True.
Information is also not the same.
Nice.
So you need a different game plan and approach. College is not enough,
Yeah.
right? It's not enough. You'll get it up to a post-grad level. It's still not enough. The world now needs skills. It needs experience. It needs vocation. Like you need to be vocationalized in a specific skill for you to be considered relevant. Back then, all right, you didn't need that. You just needed to know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, then you're in a job for 20, 30 years, you're sorted. You have retirement, you can build a home, you can buy land, taxes were low, we were low in debt. Right now, our GDP to debt ratio is what, 62, 65, almost 69%. Our inflation rate is about 12%. All right. Even if you get college, you have a job and whatnot, you, for every 100 shillings you earn, 69 bob inaenda na gava, inaenda kulipa deni.
What?
All right. So,
My God.
you need to not just depend on one income. You need to get like multiple incomes. All right. So, I don't know if that's a rich dad or poor dad approach, but the mindset required for that, even if I was raised with the best education, with the best access to to whatnot, I will need a different game plan.
That's
right.
true. That's
So, for me, to answer your question, the mindset that I was raised in is to constantly upskill myself. Right? My dad recognized that maybe at a later stage in his life where he was already established and set in his ways, and he realized, oh snap, yes, I had planned for all this, but I need to upskill. So he taught me and my siblings from an early age, you need to upskill with your body, right? Not just your mind, with your body, with your mind, with your emotions. Like the way relationships worked then is not the same way relationships work now. You also need to upskill. There are skills you need to learn and how to manage relationships. You also need to do the same thing spiritually, all right? Understand all these aspects that make up spirituality, then make your choice on what your beliefs and values are going to be. You're given agency. So given that wholesome approach, it puts me on this constant journey of always learning and improving myself and looking for ways to become better other than being set in ways. So I don't know if that answers your question about mindset.
That's great.
It did answer my question. So I want us to get into starting up a business. You've been involved in so many startups.
Yeah.
As you tell us about Cashia, tell us how did you determine you want to be involved in this startup? How do you determine? How do I
determine the startups I want to be involved, or why I got into this space? Why I got into this space?
into these spaces? Like you've worked with my DAO.
Okay.
Yes. How do you determine which startups?
Truthfully, I didn't determine it. I found myself in it. I'll be lying to you if I said this is what I chose to become. Let's just say it chose me. But later on, as I was in this game, I realized it's one of the best spaces any young person can be in to figure out how to pivot themselves in the marketplace. Because if you find yourself in a linear job where you straight out of college, you go to an audit firm, you go to banking, you go to telco, and you're stuck there for 10, 15 years, by the time you're out, you're already set in your ways and you know you're specialized in one thing and you cannot pivot in many things. When you ask that same person who's been a linear sort of career path to start a business, they end up flailing and doing the wrong things because they do not have the resilience, they do not have the background, they don't have the soft skills or the vocational skills required to do what is needed. And it's not really on them, it's because they never got the opportunity to learn from other entrepreneurs and whatnot. My goal as I was flailing and learning with other entrepreneurs is I realized I wanted to be an intrapreneur. Intrapreneur is basically learning from other entrepreneurs. I will struggle the same way a typical entrepreneur would go through. I would have sleepless nights. I would struggle in team building. I would struggle in trying to figure out how to make this balance the P&L of the business. The only difference between me and the entrepreneur is the entrepreneur pays for everything.
But you're actually with them along, that journey.
Along the way.
Go through everything they're going through until everything breaks even.
Until things breaks even. And that, to me, is a core skill set to building wealth.
Now, what are some of the mistakes that some of these early or startups make in terms of how they structure their business? What is it that you find most of these startups lack that actually they should be able to look into for them to have not even an easy time, but for their business to actually scale up? Because I'm sure I was once starting a business, and the mistake that I did, it's not even marketing, because I knew who my target was. Yeah. I knew who I wanted to come to my business. Yeah. I had already identified where I would be, and it was a very nice location. Yeah. But then I found myself getting into the business, and then katikati ya biashara ndo na realize, kumbe hata sikuwa nime take care of this space. Like I would find myself starting nilikuwa nimeanza ni kuuza movies. I would sell movies. Yeah. Now the challenge that I was having is, to me, I only thought about watu wakuje hapo wachukue hizo ma CD waende na hiyo story ishe. So I didn't have things for soft copies and all that. And then you find customers sana kuja na kuambia mimi nataka uniweke hapa kwa soft copy, and you've not thought about such ujafikiria venye unaweza evolve biashara yako if it into these other spaces. And I think that's where some of you come in. Ian would come into such a place, una-advise mtu kama vitu kama hizo. What are some of these things watu wanasawenge kufanya?
Okay, it's a very, very good question. What I can tell you, first of all, that this journey, it's not, you shouldn't look at outcomes. You should figure out and just love to enjoy the process, because you will never really know enough. I can tell you a 10-point plan, a 6-point plan, which will be relevant by next week. Right? It so doesn't work like that.
Every challenge at its own time, and then learn how to maneuver.
Enjoy and love the process, my friend.
You got it. Don't give up. Sichoke ati kwa sababu mtu amekuja ameitisha kitu and you had not thought about it. That is awesome, man.
Don't have that outcome mindset that it's important, right? That you need to get to a certain point, but you should also appreciate the journey, the process of you getting there. For example, you're selling movies, right? Yeah. The outcome is for you to sell movies, but the process has changed. The outcome is still the same. People want movies. Right?
Yeah.
People want movies.
They still want these movies.
They still want these movies.
It's just now they want.
The process keeps.
They don't want the hard copies anymore.
Exactly. So how do you evolve with the process? The outcome hasn't changed. So how do you evolve with the process? The process was initially CDs, night moves to thumb drives or flash disks. Now people are streaming stuff. Right?
Exactly.
People are streaming
stuff. So you need to be able to see the future of your business, or not even the business, but like the world is moving now. We are now getting online, so you need to be able to see the future for your business and how that future will affect your business.
More or less, you have actually explained that very, very well. And most importantly, how do I create contingencies when the evolution has happened? For example, you realize what COVID did.
Yeah.
COVID automatically made all our homes offices.
Yes.
There's this thing called digital transformation. And when COVID came, they changed the term digital transformation to COVID accelerated digital transformation, right? Because everything just accelerated.
You are forced to, whether you knew how to do it or not.
That's an evolution that was out of your control. As a business, what do you do?
You either die or you just adapt.
The only thing you require is survive, right? Survive. So you're supposed to look for evolutionary measures for specific to your business. Because I can't tell you. What I know is maybe specific within tech. It's not the same thing for someone who is a stylist.
That's true.
For someone who is in manufacturing, like him, right? For someone who is in, logistics or media, right? right? The measures are different. That's why I'm summarizing by calling it process, right? Outcome is the same, process is different. So you have to create evolutionary, measures within your process, achieving the same outcome. Yeah.
Before you get to the kind of the organization you're working with now, you have worked with Lions Den, like ACB Lions Den, right?
I was hoping that didn't cover. Okay. Okay.
I want you to tell us about your experience. And maybe I was watching Lions Den, and I was like, oh damn, finally Shark Tank in Kenya, and I'm like, oh my god. I was on the TV. I was young. I was a bit young, and I'm hearing these figures and business terms and people pitching their businesses and saying, yeah, I'll have this is 10% equity or what. Tell us, how has the experience working at Lions Den and the kind of people you have met there?
Lions Den, as the name suggests, it's a proper den, and you have to have your figures and stats at your fingertips before you go there and massacre yourself, because those are actual lions or sharks, and
be suicidal.
And they have all their stats here, so you have to understand your business
before anything.
That's why I started with saying research. You're supposed to do a bit of research, establish which gap you're solving, which gap you're bridging in the market, what is the investment you need to bridge for the solution that you're introducing to the market. And now when you're looking for other investors, what stake are you willing, and there's an established process for this, what stake are you willing to lose for them to bring in the investment so that your business can grow. This is already an established process. I think that would be a very good conversation to have on some of these things that people need to understand. But largely from my experience, that was my first time my first experience in entrepreneurship, because I went there with my then CEO, called Pratik. And he basically, we spent a whole day there, and we were basically trying to master and own our numbers, because those are the only things these people need. You have 5 minutes to pitch for something you've been working for 5 years. You have 5 minutes, right? So it's a lot of pressure. So you have to know, okay, my business is solving X amount problem. This is the total addressable market. This is how we're going to address the market. This is how much we're expecting in a short, mid, and long-term period. And we need this much investment to solve the short, mid, and long-term. And if you give us this investment, we'll be able to reach X, Y, Z numbers. And what you have 5 minutes, right? So when they now ask you, okay, so if we give you, if you say you need 10% stake, so 10% stake of a business that is worth, you said is worth 10 million. So 10% stake means your business is worth 100 million, right? Because it's just 10 million.
You have to show those numbers.
You have to show those numbers. So 100 million. So are you on a trajectory to hit that 100 million in revenue and X or Z amount of time? Like, so if you don't know how that you're going to get to those numbers, then you don't know your business. You don't know your business. Then you don't understand. For example, we can pitch someone. I can do that for where I'm at. We can have me also do the same thing for his. It's like it's called an elevator pitch, right? You have 5 minutes, do an elevator pitch. My business is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. I'm in the manufacturing sector. My total.
Also train guys on how to get such.
I have not necessarily trained
guide
people.
through or something.
I can guide through because I've done it enough times in multiple businesses, multiple categories, both in profit and non-profit. But it's to me, it's a very necessary skill for someone who is interested to get into that space. Not necessarily interested in getting that space, but when you are launching your own business, you have that skill set to know how best to position yourself when you meet these big dogs. Because you were given a few minutes to showcase why your solution. Why should I give a damn? And
why should I actually partner with you and give you my money for you to run your business? That's amazing. I don't want us to protest Sana, because this actually can go on forever. I want us to get into Cashia.
Okay.
I want you to tell us what Cashia is, how it started, and all that.
Okay.
What Cashia is and how it's helping us. Because naona hapa kuna information mingi sana.
All right. So Cashia is a fintech startup. Fintech is financial technology. And the problem we're trying to solve is the high costs of transactions of moving money in Kenya and across Africa. let's look at how we move money digitally here. People know banking and M-Pesa.
M-Pesa.
And M-Pesa actually takes, or mobile money. Let me not M-Pesa. Mobile money, right? The cost of moving money on mobile right now ranges from 9.5% to as high as 35%.
35, yeah.
Right? 35%. Right? Yeah. And we don't talk about it as a problem because we don't know any better. There's no other option.
That's true.
And money is moving.
And money has to move.
Money has to move.
You have
digitally.
to.
We see all these conversations and everywhere people complaining. So when you did a bit of research and you prorate it to the rest of Africa, we realized the cost goes to as high as 87% in other countries across Africa. That means it's 7, and this is there. You can go read this report on global GSMA, GSMA report, FSD Africa, BFA Global. This is already documented research that anybody can Google and find, right? So our problem is combining mobile money movement and a marketplace. Because we also realize in e-commerce you have a problem, not with consumers, but with merchants. Merchants are struggling to move their consumable goods, products, or services because of the high cost of transactions and wallets, right? So you are buying your cup of coffee from a coffee shop, right? And this coffee shop has to charge you a specific amount when you're paying for it, and there's also the cost of logistics. Yeah. So we are combining both fintech and a marketplace into one platform.
So if I'm getting it correct, what you guys are doing, you're coming up with a solution to make sure that if I'm transferring my money,
it's affordable.
Number one, not as expensive.
It's free, yes.
It's actually free.
It's free.
You're using the word free, bro. So you can transfer money. You can actually
peer-to-peer payments is free. Merchant payments is what now we're going to charge merchants. You're buying from
Mihai or Fellows.
Mihai or Fellows. You're buying from your typical restaurants around here. We're going to charge a small percentage that is obviously not going to be between 9.5 to 35%. It's going to be
something
way
favorable.
Something favorable, yeah.
You
came about it this way. Right now on your current ecosystem for transacting, if you need to buy a product, you need to go to the physical store or their pages or their platforms online. All right. And then when you need to make a payment, you either leave that platform and you have to go to your mobile money or your banking solution or the integration they've done inside there so that you can complete the payment. And then logistics is also a separate. So there are 3 different businesses in one.
So if I'm dealing with Neatgram here,
and
I want to order some things, I have to go to another service.
You have to go, you order from
First of all, I go to them.
He gives you a payment mode. It is a card, mobile money, or payment on delivery or cash. And then there's a logistics side of things he has to take care of. Those are 3 businesses in one guy. So us as Cashia, we're combining all 3 in one. So all he has to worry about is the margins he's moving. So we give him a store on the platform. We give him a wallet and we give him logistics. So the only thing now we have to do as Cashia is market him, right? And what you're doing is moving all our consumers into the same platform. This is it's already happening. It's already happening in China.
You're creating.
It's already happening in India. It's already happening in Indonesia. It's already happening in the West. This is what Apple and Google and the social media platforms are trying to do. They've built their own marketplaces, all right, and they're building a fintech underlying platform, right? They started with social, right? Then they're building fintech and marketplace on top of it. If you go to the East, they started with fintech and then they've built social. They started with actually fintech or with a marketplace and then they built a fintech underlying solution to it. In Africa, we started with fintech, but the marketplace is verticalized. Junior is on its own, my dad is on its own.
Scattered everywhere.
Right? And then the underlying is either M-Pesa or banking and whatnot.
And they're very limited, actually.
Very, very limited. And it's very expensive.
Very.
Very, very expensive. And when I sell this solution to people, are like, okay, why do I need to use another platform? You know, M-Pesa already works, this already works. You don't know that you can actually get this affordably, conveniently, and safely. All right? And that's what we are doing. We've combined all those into one platform. Let me tell you, it's going to be a hard thing to sell because Kenyans also a peculiar bunch because they don't like new things,
especially online.
Especially online.
I think you see what I find with Kenya is number one, trust issues.
Yeah.
Kenyans have like really deep dark trust issues. So when it comes to having something new, especially when it deals with moving funds, that it takes a while. But we also have to appreciate the fact that with the new with even not a generation, but with post-corona, we have now come to an understanding that things have to change. We cannot operate the same way. Let me ask you this, bro. For instance, I'm going to get my products from Neatgram or from Othello's. Yeah, just take me through the process of me being able to make that payment and actually how it really makes it easier for me. Okay,
so this platform, Cashia, you can be able to pay for your utilities for, like you pay for power, internet, the usual. That to us is like an issue because everybody, buy airtime, everybody can do that. Right? So it's there, right? What we're giving you is access to a wallet where you can store money from your various sources. Your two identifiers in this market, either your phone number or your bank account. Your bank account. Those are the two identifiers for moving money in Kenya, even across Africa, right? So you're giving you a new identifier on our platform. Let me rebuilding this information. We're giving you a new identifier. Let me just leave it at that. That is going to be in your wallet, right? The merchant, we are aggregating as many merchants as we can. Othello's, Neatgram, and many others on the platform. Thousands and thousands of them, you're going to find them.
So all these guys are on one space.
Right?
That is beautiful. So
if you need to buy anything, we are not going to inundate you with so much, and then you get confused, like the way news feeds are. What you're going to do, it's going to be based on your behavior. Like the way the Google search page works, it's blank. So if you need cookies, you search for cookies.
You'll find everyone who's selling cookies.
Right? If you need stylists, you're going to see stylists. And then your news feed is now going to be inundated with the things that you are interested in. So if you open Cashia for yourself and Miha, it's a very different interface because you're only going to see things that you guys are interacting with, right? So the payment infrastructure is very simple. The current process is 6. You look for a pay bill number, account number, you put the amount, you put a PIN, you verify then the amount, and then you send, right? For us, it's just scan and pay.
There's a QR code.
There's a QR code and there's a tag we're going to attach to it. So as a merchant, you're going to have a tag, and a consumer, you're going to have a tag. So by pay bills, by till numbers. The tags are now going to be used to identify the payment infrastructure. So you scan a tag. So the tag is Othello's. Your tag, what's your name? Biko, your tag is Biko. So Biko to Othello's, you connect each other's tags. You just put in the amount. That's it. You either use a biometrics, your face or whatnot. Done. Payment done. And then payment done, and then you take care of the logistics. We also have our own logistics side of the business where we'll take care for logistics for merchants like merchants. We'll deliver on behalf. So the merchant does not have to worry about fulfillment because that's the problem in Africa is logistics. It's not
it's true.
It's not e-commerce. It's not payments is a problem, but also logistics. That's why the likes. What's the name of this startup the other day that died? Kune Foods. The brilliant idea was the idea was brilliant, but the problem was the marginal cost, and the marginal cost was in logistics. Africa, and that logistics, you can't entrepreneur yourself out of bad policy. That's government problem. You can't entrepreneur yourself out of bad policy.
I love that you're outlining that. I love it because listen, we have to be honest about how business runs, especially here in Kenya. You can have all, you can be very bright, come up with a very good business, come up with a very good idea. But trust me, when it comes to the logistics of running it and making sure that everything is working is a problem. So all this is happening on an application.
Yes, we are calling ourselves a super aggregator, where we are aggregating all these platforms, all these services, all these products, all of them in one platform. And then you as a consumer, all you have to do is just access it, right? Download the app, set yourself up, load in the funds that you're going to. You need to buy a movie ticket, buy a movie ticket there. You need to buy a cup of coffee, buy a cup.
You just need to search for whatever
you just need to
service,
search
the
for
merchant.
the merchant you need. You need to buy these keto-friendly cookies. You search for it. Right now, does a platform like that exist? No.
I don't think so. Yeah, there's none.
No, you need to hail a cab.
There's none.
And then something that is affordable.
That is amazing.
Something that is affordable that you can scale. That you can use on a day-to-day basis, because you're also cognizant, not just putting everything, but putting the things that people actually need.
Wow.
Right?
Very important question is, are you currently available on Play Store and App Store?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yes, because you're still in R&D mode, but we should launch in a couple of weeks. So here's the thing: the barrier of entry for a business like ours is very, very high, since we're regulated by CBK, we're regulated by another state entities, because we're handling people's money. Yes. How would you trust us?
It has to
if
be
we're not. Yeah, and there are so many checks and balances that you have to put in place for us to be legit. So those are the steps we have put.
Ian, I'm gonna divert for just a second, because there's one thing I'm very interested in, and it's starting up businesses, especially in Kenya, when it comes to the legal procedures.
Yeah.
Would you say that in Kenya right now it is, easy for you to start a business in terms of the processes, the legal processes that you have to take? For instance, was coming up with Cashia for you something that you would say was supported, especially? Did you find it rather easy for you to start, or was it so challenging that you find we need to change some of these policies? What are some of these things that you feel this is not necessary for me to be able to run such? Yeah.
That's a very simple but not easy to answer question.
I know.
Anybody can start a business. And depending on the category of the business they're in, there are obviously legal hurdles that one has to go through. Let's look at it at a regional level. The ease of doing business in Kenya across other African countries is one of the best here.
Okay.
The ease of doing business. Let me give credit where credit is due. First of all, in our ease of doing business, I think we are. I don't remember the numbers, but I know within the region, it is one of the best places. That's why we have a lot of foreign entities here, right? But that's just it. The barriers of entry is a problem.
Thank you.
Because now you'd find that a lot of these people who are coming in and they're setting up some of these entities, they have the war chest to beat the legal hurdles required for them to set up the entities. For small-time players, it might be quite difficult and painful, and there needs to be a revision of policy, because we as small businesses cannot be treated the same way as established entities. But the policy is the same. That's the problem. The way we're
So the
treating
policy
big
across the field is just equal for everyone.
and that's not fair.
That's not fair. That's true.
not
That's
fair.
true. Mumesikia serikali saidia. Come up with policies that help us, or that help the Kenyan people be able to actually start those businesses. Because as Ian has put it, running a business, if you have if you've worked with the correct team, you can actually be able to do it. It's just that the starting up is very, very hard. I'm gonna go to Naniki Dogo, not even Mihai, Deron. Deron, there's something we did not talk about. There's a service that you're offering. Before Twisahau Tafadhali, tell us about it.
If you can go back a little bit. I started first by introducing knit gums, what it is. We offer our products referring to our clothes. The gums. Gums is a short form for garments. Another thing that makes us stand out, this is where we come in, our services that we offer. We style up people. You can buy our clothes, or if you don't want to buy it fully, like this is what we usually do with most artists, people who are going for performances and all. They come rent out our pieces, we put them together, 1 and 2, 2 and 2, and then you can rent it out for that day, and then you can return it. And at the same time, if you guys can go look it up in our bio, we've put buy, sell, and trade. We buy clothes from the public.
Wow.
We can sell you clothes.
Yeah. You see, with time, you need to update your wardrobe. You need
That's
to offload
true.
some.
That's true.
So if you need to offload some and you have no one to give out to, come to Knitgums. We go, verify your clothes, and then we buy them from you. We can sell them on your behalf, or we can fully buy them and have 100% ownership.
Hey. Wow. Awesome.
Woo. Wow, that's
254 family.
wow. You take trade-ins.
Yeah, we take in trade-ins.
Can I come with my ragged jeans and exchange it with another ragged jeans?
Okay, this service, no, we're not
That's
trade-ins.
not how it works.
We buy it and then we go sell it for you. But you have to verify. This service is particularly tricky because there are some people who are going to be like, nah, these people don't want to take my product. You have to verify and ensure it satisfies us as Knitgums.
And also quality.
Quality is key. We have to make sure you're getting the right product. And then we go, put it out to the public, flip it for you. If you're flipping it up for you, we take a small cut, which is 25%, you keep 75%. If not, we buy it, we get 100% ownership.
That is awesome, Manze. That is awesome. If you're listening in, you are tuned into the Quorum Show, the number one show on Radio 254. Sawa. This is the Guanest. We are here with 3 personalities that have made my head bigger. Sijui kama mnaona forehead yangu imekuwa kubwa kidogo. My forehead is bigger. Today's, I don't know, you guys are going to actually have to go on Instagram and tell me what you've learned. I'm going to highlight just 3. Number 1, kuna Knitgram. And Knitgram is dealing with making sure you look wonderful. Making sure you look, come home, say, these guys will dress you up. They will design you or your staff if you have a corporate, or your MCs, kama umesign watu. So you need to go ahead on Instagram, Knitgram, and talk to Darren. Sawa. We also have Mihai. Mihai is, let me tell you, you're my favorite because my mom is one person who loves sweet things. She really loves sweet things. Lakini she's currently at that age where she really needs to cut. Yeah, she needs to cut that sugar. And she loves such wonderful things. So with you coming in, kuna cookies. Mom, nitakubaiya cookies. You need to also go to Othello's and go ahead and order. Remember, you can also become a retailer for them. Sawa. You can also sell. Just make sure that wewe unafanya kazi ya maana. Unajua keep it quality, because that's what we want. We want to grow. And then the biggest thing that is now going down, there is Cashia. Cashia is coming in and bringing all of you merchants together on one platform so that all your customers, hawatashinda wakikutafuta, wanachoka sijui nini. And when it comes to the payment process, customer wako wataanza kukuambia hiyo transaction fee ni mingi, sitaki. There are people who won't buy your product just because umeniambia nilipe na 100 bob juu. I don't have that 100 bob. Maybe niko na 20 bob. But I love the fact that we can be able to find all merchants on one place, be able to make transactional payments that are affordable. Kwa sababu hiyo ndio kitu inasumbua watu, yeah? Also, they're taking care of some of the logistics.
Yeah, we are.
Sindio. So all you merchants, all you startups right there need to go ahead and head on to, it's www.cashia.com. Akisearch to Cashia raipata.
They can, our website is live. They can apply, participate on that, and when we are ready.
So when you're ready, they can actually be able. So currently, you're taking in every application, every merchant who is ready to work with you.
Interested, who want to work with us and whatnot. And the reason we've not, gone out and about shouting about this is still we're taking our time to understand the gaps in the market, so that when we come to the consumer, we are very clear that we spoke to what politicians would call polling. So that we understand that we're dealing with a manufacturer like Mihai here. This is what the manufacturer needs from a marketplace point of view, from a payments point of view, from a logistics point of view, or fulfillment point of view, from someone who is in the fashion and textile industry.
Because everyone has
small scale to high scale. Everybody has specialized needs.
Kabisa.
I can't have a one size fits all solution to everyone, right? Wow. So we've taken a bit of time to do a lot of research to understand what are some of these niche issues in the market, because his problem, as someone who has been in this space, the fashion and textile industry, is not the same as Kiko Romeo,
Yeah.
who's also a stylist, right?
Yeah.
Quorum is one of the biggest and most established stylists for eons. Like back in the day, in terms of Isa,
Legend.
She's a legend,
He's a
right?
True, it's true actually.
So please, I cannot treat him as I would treat Kikoromio, right? Marketing for Kikoromi, but you get the idea, right?
Yeah, we
so I
get
have to
the layer,
understand those levels so that when I'm approaching them, it's from context. It's contextual to what I know someone at his startup level needs and someone who's already established might require. You know, and that I feel is also another issue. A lot of young businesses who are coming up out here, especially in a space like mine, let me speak for myself. That's a bit of pivoting that most people don't do. And it's in my industry, we call it product market fit. You have a product, you have a market, and how do you create that fit and cohesion?
How do you make sure there's harmony between
There
the
is
two?
harmony. Good, very, very good.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
That is
that's-
amazing. That is amazing. I don't want to ask because maybe I'm reaching, but how long before we can actually be able to start enjoying? Approximately, because I love this idea really.
Let's just say you're going to do a number of your Black Friday shopping and Christmas shopping.
Before we can get there.
That's when we're looking to do a full-scale launch. Right now, we're still testing it with various merchant categories here and there. Let's just say for someone who is getting into my space right now, the barriers of entry are very high. There's a statutory level, there's a stakeholder level, there is the consumer level. There are barriers in each level. But now the economies of scale will make sense long term.
Yeah, true.
So you have to play the long game. You can't do something like this and say, I will be profitable in 2 months, in 3 months. What we're doing is creating systemic behavior change. And to change
create a good
behavior,
culture ni
how
ngumu
long
could
did it
change.
take? M-Pesa was launched in 2007. Most of us started using M-Pesa maybe 5-6 years later, right? So to create that systemic behavior change takes time, a lot of investment, and a lot of patience.
Yeah, and
So
a lot
also
of public education.
and a lot of the word public education, that's a very, very good, but in our industry, the word used is category education. Because it's a specific category. Like for him, the category education he needs to do for a product like this,
For health interested
for
guys.
health interested guys, it will start with
Kabisa.
fitness nuts like me, who wants to eat sweet things, but, you know.
But still maintain
Health.
kitu
Yeah,
healthy.
so the category education he needs to do it, at first it's going to be niche for guys like me. And then after a while, when he's playing the long game, now it's going to be a mass market product. When he gets to mass market, he would have already figured out the unit economics to make a business like that perform very, very well, right? Because it's different at every level.
I have one last question. So guys can currently sign up to Cashia.
Both, but right now priority is merchants because
yeah.
our business is B2B2C. We are starting with merchants first. They go through a whole KYC process. Then consumers will come in later because consumers will only find our product useful if there are enough merchants.
Yeah, if they can be able to find the merchants they're looking for on your platform.
Yeah.
Are there any requirements for a merchant to be able to sign up to your?
No. Well, it depends on the category you're in. For example, if you're a pharmacy and you're registering ourselves with us, or you're in the healthcare business, the requirements are there.
So you have them outlined, kila
We have
kitu.
specific requirements for the categories.
Very
we're in.
easy for you,
And
my
let me give you
people.
an example of something that I think people would find practically useful. Where, if you want to service your car today online, where do you go?
If you want to,
Online, if you want to service your car.
you would have to go to directly watu unaenda DT Dobi ama unaenda
So
kwa
for the
watu wa BMW.
established. So if you want to get your ordinary mechanic, that Kiambu guy who is always
Take an Uber kama gari yendi. Take an Uber, go find him, mlete kwako ama chukua breakdown, peleke hiyo gari huko kwake. That's for that to happen.
So what you're doing is democratizing categories like those, right? By democratizing, I mean we can be able to get access to services of
Like that.
and handymen like that.
Wow, nice.
We need construction services right now. Where do you go? Everybody has a guy.
Yes.
Construction. You need to buy. If you're planning to build a home, if you're planning to get services, where do you go? These are things that people need, but there's so many gatekeepers.
And if you don't have a friend who is a good friend, or a friend who knows a good foreman, who can be loyal, if you don't have a friend who can tell you these guys sell good cement quality at an affordable.
Yeah.
Mtu wangu utajenga hapo foundation and then you leave it.
Let's go to even more sensitive things. If you want to invest in, you want to buy an investment in, say, securities or even crypto, right?
Is that all available on Cashia?
So crypto later, but securities. Let's say you want to get into securities,
Yes.
right? Everybody, that's a very sensitive thing.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You either go through your bank or you have a guy. I have a plug. I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy. And then the chain of how your money is going to move, man, it's really, really, really painful. So we're looking at ways to make investments easy at a micro level. Let's say you want to buy, small unit trusts, that you want, that you can buy at maybe 100 shillings, 500 shillings easily. It's something that anybody can be able to do. And those are some of the categories we want to democratize.
Nice.
And make payments affordable, easy.
I want to ask about another peculiar category. Can you have a category for artists and the media? Like
Yes,
how
we
we
do.
can... You do?
We do
Wow,
have
that's
a
very...
category for artists, and it's very simple.
How?
It's not a place to buy music.
Yes.
It's a place where artists and people in that space creatives can get paid. We're giving you a tag.
Tell us.
Expound kidogo
Oh
tu.
God, I will need
Kidogo
to sign an NDA for you,
You know,
guys to
Ian,
read.
what I'm finding out, Ian, is that we will have to have a sitting.
Yeah.
Hey, you have this so much.
So you're selling a piece of art. Right now, if you're selling a piece of art, people usually put a phone number there. Yeah. If you're interested, call me on that number. If you're playing guitar, let me give you a very easy example that we do we say in our office so that you understand how it goes. You're in traffic, right? The Njugu guy passes. You want to buy the Njugus or the bananas and then off you go. And you don't have cash on you. The guy will tell you, usitume kwa hii namba iko ya fuliza, withdraw, weka kwa hii namba ya withdraw pale, na usisahau 27 ya kutoa.
Kweli.
So with our platform, it's just cash, it's just scan and pay. So this guy will walk around with the cash tag, the cashier tag, right? Your work is just to pay, right? Right? And you're done. And
I love it. I love
so
it.
imagine you as an artist, you're playing guitar, you're doing something here in the middle of the street. Instead of having that basket telling people to give you money, just walk around with a cash tag, and people can just scan. Pay, and you're gone. So that's an initial solution we're bringing to the market. That will obviously evolve because we know our competitors watafanya ile kitu.
Let me tell you, Ian, you don't know how much assistance utakuwa unapatia hookers.
Yeah.
People wana reverse. Today kwa mat, mtu amelipa 30 bob matatu na ame reverse your pesa. You know, and by the way, before alipe, it was a process. Eka number, umeweka vibaya. Nimeweka pin mbaya. Unajua, it's a process, but wow, that is amazing. That is amazing. Yeah. I want us to go back to Mihai kidogo. I'm seeing time in a full lie. This time is actually really not on our side. So we have these products here. We have Othello's coconut and cacao nib cookies. We also have the Othello's cardamom cookies. Kuna moja unakumbuka? Let me see kama unakumbuka. Kuna moja. There are 3. Kuna coconut cacao and then kuna cardamom
and spicy.
And the spicy one. Don't forget the spicy one. Now, Mimi I just love these products, and kula swali, I don't know if I can be able to get it. Just a second. There's someone here who had asked a question. I can't find it. Let me see. But these are actually very amazing products. If you need to order one of these cookies, just head on to Othello's Ltd. Sawasawa, Othello'sLtd.com. Order. They deliver countrywide, and very soon tutakuwa international.
Yes.
Very soon.
Also, an update. Hopefully this coming week or by latest next week, we will be in Good Life Pharmacy.
Wow.
Good Life Pharmacy.
Start in Nairobi, then will be a branch in Nyali, one in Rupa and Eldoret, another one in Kisumu, and one in Nakuru, I think, if I'm mistaken, but many in Nairobi.
Kabisa. Check out these products, manzi. Knitgram, Fellows, and then there's Cashia that is coming up to sort out all our problems. You guys.
Maybe as we get to that top of the hour, I want to know about the biggest lesson. I want you to think about it for about 10 seconds. Tell me the biggest lesson you have had to learn on the ground doing business and starting up a business.
Don't trust people who smiles too much.
Ooh.
Those people in business who are all the time, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What if they are high?
Red signals.
Don't work with them, actually. Nisawa. Don't trust easily people who just give you smiles, random smiles, and say yes all the
and
time.
Who likes to please you, pleasers. Be very careful with this. Be careful those.
Bro, Darren, any last words that you have in regards to your business? And then remind us again how we can find you, because we need those clothes, bro. We need to look fantastic.
Personal information, you can reach out to me at my email, deron.karanja@gmail.com. Online, you can find us on Instagram, Knitgams. We're here to work on other platforms, and websites and more. What I can tell you people outside there is resilience. Be as resilient as possible. The ability to come back from a difficult situation. For instance, for me, when I was starting, I started by printing the first 10 teas. I managed to sell only 6 of them.
Wow.
It took me like 2 weeks. Hizo zingine nne nilivaa zote.
So you have to be very resilient when you're starting a business.
Starting a business is a challenge, bro.
Nice.
Kuna setbacks here and there, but that should not that should not hinder you from achieving your goal.
And start. Tell them lazima waanze.
There's nothing like us waiting for the perfect time. Perfect time is simply after doing your homework, doing your research. When you feel you're ready enough, go for it. Don't have procrastination is the root of all evil.
Kabisa manze, you've heard it. I want to address Pinky Gelani alikuwa anataka kujua hizi cookies, so I hope you've gotten them. There's the coconut and cacao nib cookies. In fact, this is my favorite. I don't know why. Every time I take a bite of this coconut and cacao, there's that kabaridi fulani na feel ndani ya mdomo. It's just amazing. Pinky Gelani, ukiamka asubuhi kesho na bado kunanyesha, grab a coffee and then head on to a Fellows Ltd. Just order. Atakuletea.
Let me ask Mihai, how long does it take? What's the lead time between ordering and getting for someone in around Nairobi?
Nairobi, same day delivery.
About an hour?
Delivery.
Same day delivery?
Let's say that if they order before 5 o'clock, we will do our best to be delivered the same day. However, Sundays might be tricky. Sundays might be tricky during the weekend, basically. But weekdays, if you order before 5 p.m., even if it's 10 o'clock, we'll deliver it.
Wow. Before we have about 10-15 minutes, let's ask a little bit, let's get a little bit personal and ask about your personal experiences. I want to know, where are those places you have gone and you have been allowed to enter because you're a Mzungu? The Mzungu privilege.
Oh, I love this topic. It's very controversial.
Oh my,
but white privilege.
White privilege, okay.
It's called white privilege. It's very controversial. I agree with you all.
Wow.
But you see, the thing with me, which I like the most, is that I like to... Personally, I'm seen here in Kenya as a white. In Africa, I'm seen as a white person. I'm labeled white.
Oh, yes.
However, in Europe, you are not a white person. You are a Romanian, you are Swedish, you are Greek, you are German, etc. You are not categorized by color. Here, people, when they see you, depends of the category of the people. It depends of their education. Let's say if somebody is not educated, they see white, what they
Zungu.
see? They see a walking wallet.
Kabisa. Dollar bills.
That's what they see. If I meet someone like Darren, after a while, he can get an opinion about me. He will say, okay, this guy can help me with networking. This guy is also resourceful. It's also a good friend. If I meet someone like Ian, again, Ian will take his plenty of days or plenty of months until he really will give me a go-ahead. Yes, we can be friends. Yes, we can do something. So there are this category of people you meet here in Kenya. Coming to white privileges and so on, yes, it's true. It's white privilege, but it's a double-edged sword. Why? Let's say, for example,
I get
it works well when I'm with him, let's say with Darren, and we are going somewhere at an event. They don't even check us. They don't check. They just say like, "Hiya, kuja."
Yeah.
Sometimes these things are good. Yes, they are sweet, but at the same time, it feels wrong. Like, for example, we went to a club nearby here. I don't know if I can disclose it, but it's very close from here. And it's controversial because it allowed me to go inside without even checking me, not even my ID, nothing. And then
He wasn't frisked at all.
and
But
he-
you had
he
to.
was checked.
You had to.
And
It
he not have
happens.
ID. He
Yeah.
had only a picture with ID. No, you need to have the original ID, not a picture. So these are the things that are sad.
Darren, you look that young.
Other
But I
sad
get you,
stuff is
I
that
get you.
police stops you. When they stop you, they say, leta pesa. Hey.
They do ask for money. How do they ask that?
Well, first of all, they will tell you there's some BS that you did A, B, C,
Umefanya
D.
hivi, umefanya hivi.
Yeah, that you did.
Expecting that you don't know
They will
the
threaten you
rules and all
that
that.
you'll
yeah.
be in jail. That's what they will tell you. Then if you show that you know some things, they might moderate a bit, but depends. Some police, for example, here in Parklands, Parklands Westlands, they are very aggressive. In fact, a policewoman jumped in front of my car and I was close to hit her.
Wow.
Because she wanted to stop me. But, I mean, you just make a sign, stop.
And I'll stop.
Period. Don't jump in my car. I mean, in front of the car. The car, it's 1.5 tons of metals and wires. You are going to be crushed by it. Why?
That's true. That's
don't
true.
risk your life.
Umesikia. By the way, it's true what you're saying. It's a double-edged sword.
Yes.
You will get privileges
Yes.
at certain points. But when you go alone somewhere, you want to buy something, trust me, you'll pay double, triple.
Oh, not even triple, much more, my friend. Much,
Yeah,
much
it
more.
is. It is.
That's really nice to know. For Darren, this kind of tricky. Let me ask you. There's this psychology. I'd say there are psychologists out there that claim that obsessing with our outside looks is a poor substitute for not working, for not enough in our. You can really get to a point like, I need these things, I need that. So they capitalize, the point of fashionistas capitalizing on low self-esteem. I want to know, is that true? Does fashion look to capitalize on people with low self-esteem?
First of all, I wanna counter you by saying
Yes?
dressing good, it's a confidence boost.
True.
First of all,
True.
there's no way I'm gonna be posting my items, trying to reach out to people, trying to lower their self-esteem, trying to put it out to them at say, you're not well dressed.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own sense of style.
Yeah.
You might have your own sense of style. You think you look amazing. You go meet someone there. They say, that's just basic. But at the end of the day, what really matters is your own opinion. You don't need, how you feel about yourself.
Nice.
You don't need to seek clarification or reassurance from someone out there. When it comes to fashion, just take it as a confidence boost. The
Nice.
minute you dress well, you feel confident. At the
Nice.
same
So
time,
you need the esteem.
you need the esteem. Don't let fashion diminish or interfere with the self-esteem. No. Don't do comparison.
You should see fashion as an extension of your personality.
Simple. It tells a lot about you. Before you get to talk to someone.
It's an extension of who you are.
Yeah.
I want to know, have you like included the African in your designs? Or how do you?
Yeah.
Yes, the culture.
Promoting our culture.
The
Karanja culture.
the Karanja culture is only in the price.
It is. Well, for our fashion industry, it's quite diverse. We integrate all of it, we put it all together from Kenyan, the Western culture and all. For Kenyan, how we're promoting it, we can incorporate a few t-shirts with some Kenyan logos. We come up with something like our coat of arms.
To bring it home.
Yeah, to bring it home to the end of the people. Like the coat of arms, we find a way of manipulating it. A Kenyan will definitely realize this thing belongs to Kenya. But you can integrate it in some certain way.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's beautiful.
I love that. I've loved that. Let's get back to Ian and get personal. This section we get personal.
Right.
Yes. So you went him to a hike. Went him to gym.
Yeah.
How are the ladies out there treating you? Like, I want to ask this: which is the weirdest DM from a lady have you ever gotten? Around what areas?
Lol.
Ooh,
That question was for you.
listen, Sam ni mchokozi. This guy ni sawa tu.
The weirdest DM. I get lots of weird ones, so you have to ask weird in what
Category, yeah?
How do they?
I think let me just start with the one that caught my fancy. It's while back, I had went and attended celebrating a friend's birthday. Then was posting my friend, and I was saying, the way you celebrate friends, right?
More nice.
And someone, this was very recent, someone just responded and said, my friend is asking if you're single. Like, they were very direct.
Tumaliza hii maneno.
They're quite soft.
Yeah, my friend is asking, and it was her, not her friend. It's
Ni vile unasemanga, I'm just asking for a friend, but I'm the friend. Yeah.
And they said, don't respond to this DM, just respond by calling this number.
Wow. Nice.
Wow.
So I've never been picked up. So because most of the times they drop breadcrumbs. And
and then you have to follow.
So unatumia mpaka number, that was quite interesting.
Wow. Now here at Radio 254, we support Kenyan music, we support Kenyan creatives, Kenyan businesses. We want us to grow together.
Kenyan ladies.
Everyone Kenyan, bro. Wewe uko single, I understand why. I understand. So my question is rather also just very simple. It's about you've told us you like to work out, you take road trips, but let's talk about the movies. Let's talk about music.
Okay.
What Kenyan movies do you feel are currently umewatch inaweza recomendia watu?
Okay.
Yeah, which Kenyan movie would you recommend guys to go out there and watch?
So I'm a big supporter of local content, local
Thank you.
music, and I think just as a disclaimer, we should do what the Nigerians have done. Just the other day, I don't know if you guys have seen that policy that this Nigerian Commission Corporate Society, I think, they said if you are an advertiser and you want to advertise any content in the confines, within the boundaries of the Republic of Nigeria, please, you are now required by law to only use Nigerian music. Wow. Nigeria is already global, right? So I would be such a huge advocate if we see something like that happening in the country, because I feel like that industry needs a lot of support also from the partners and advertisers as much. Instead of me creating a piece of content and then I'm using other global pieces of music, it's not fair. So I'm a big advocate for that to happen. So my favorite music category is hip hop. I'm a hip hop head. There's a time in my life I wanted hip hop. I love
wanted to rap.
Don't look like hip hop.
Please do not ask me. I like hip hop.
He doesn't look hip hop, right?
No,
Yeah.
He looks
say something like
rumba Japani or something. Some rumba
My
Mugithi.
focus music is I listen to
Bro,
bars,
do you have a name in mind? Tutacheza, yeah.
My favorite movie, since that's what you've asked me, I just watched Click Click Bang.
Tua in the house.
Philip production.
That was fire. That was fire.
Yeah, that was good.
That was fire.
Where did you watch it? Online or?
No. I went with colleagues up. What's this place?
It was on cinemas.
It was
in
cinemas.
It was in cinemas.
It was good.
Yo.
So I hope they get as much visibility as they should.
Definitely.
And get on this subscription video and platforms like Showmax, Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, because they did a good work.
I love it. We're growing because currently at Netflix, kuna ma Kenyan series mob, Country Queen. This Country Queen.
Melissa Kiplagat.
I've not watched that, but I hate.
Country Queen is amazing. Kwanza vile inaanza. Extravaganza. You know, you watch a movie and it looks like when I started watching it before Nijoi imeshutiwa Machakos, I thought it was in South Africa.
Oh, for real?
For real, I thought that was South Africa.
Let me go check.
No, but the way it starts, bro, you will love it. Just the way it starts, you'll be like, now I'm gonna watch this movie. Apple Sour.
I want to shout out. I want to shout out Melissa Kiplagat because Melissa actually followed our page. She's the lead character. Na amekuwa hapa this week. This week we have had big names on 254 Radio, and I want to appreciate everyone that's working here. The 254 family, we have been doing the most, and I want to congratulate you. But tumekuwa na mad tracks hii wiki anakuja tena. And also this week, something else we have announced that starting 1st September, 254 Radio will be available on a frequency in the United States.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So definitely we'll give you the details. You know, it's funny. And I don't want to say this, but I'm going to have to. It's very funny how when you start something here in Kenya, especially this is for the creatives, most of the supporters are usually international.
Yeah.
It's funny how before you bring it home, someone has to accept you somewhere over there. But I love the group that I have here because these are guys who are actually changing the culture, especially Ian. What you're doing, bro, is amazing, and we will actually, plan to have an entire show just talking about it because we need our guys to be educated about how it is important for us to support our own. It is very important for us to identify that if you build Kenya, you're building yourself. Sawa sawa. Mimi.
Swali ya mwisho personal ili ni to Ian. What car are you driving? Nataka kujua
It's a Swedish car.
Nice. What car are you driving right now?
It's a normal car. It's a normal car.
What's a normal car?
Normal. Yes.
If you see Mihai saying it's Mihai.
No, for Mihai is over the clouds.
For Mihai normal is above the skies. Iko tu sawa.
So it gets me from point A to point B. I like it. I've had it
Nice.
all.
It has some music.
Yeah. So I want to ask, what do I ask? What music do you play on your radio, on your car?
So I listen to a lot of hip hop.
Yes, international. Tell us your top 5 international.
Actually, it's a lot of. I try to look for new talent.
Oh yeah.
Who are actual lyricists, not just guys who have bars. So international, like my favorite all-time rapper has to be Kendrick Lamar.
Oh yeah.
Kendrick Lamar is not just a rapper; he's a lyricist.
Oh yeah.
He speaks
A poet.
He's a poet. Like
True.
you have to think really deep
You have to listen 10 times to get
understand where he's coming from.
Yes.
And that to me is art. I like
Nice.
that.
Nice.
The other guys, there are these other lyricists like Lecrae. I listen to a lot of Lecrae.
Nice.
Lecrae Mo is good, amongst many others. Here in Kenya,
Yeah.
I mean, I have to give it to Kali, man. Calligraph.
Doing the most.
Ameshikilia
Big up the OG. Yeah.
Ameshikilia, and I can't honestly, in all honesty, think of anyone
I was doing
in
what
that
he's doing.
category
True.
who has done a splendid job, because that guy works.
Buddha.
He works, and his
Have you?
content is
Yeah, you've had the Dax collabo.
No.
Calligraph and Dax.
Yes. Oh, how can I not have? Yes, I have.
I woke up that morning. I was like, oh yeah, Kenyan music is going places
Yeah.
now. I no doubt.
Yeah.
Because I know now, like USA know about Calligraph Jones just because of that collab.
Yeah. Yes, that was good. That was good. The one he did with Sarkodie.
Oh yeah, Wavy.
Wavy. Sorry.
Oh,
yeah,
Wavy.
yeah. What I'd want to see in our industry is variety. Like whether we see in West Africa.
Oh yeah.
A variety
Drillers,
in excellent categories. Because here in Kenya, I think we're at that point where there's one category that is dominant.
Oh yeah.
And there's no diversity in category. When you go to the West, there's diversity in excellence.
Nice.
There's not one category dominating the other. There are guys who are rappers, but there are other guys who can sing, and then it's in their own dialect and language. It's not even the colonial, colonizer type situation. It's their own, and they celebrate that, like that pidgin accent. I beg. Like to me that is so good. Like even sometimes I find myself wanting to interact and engage with other people in that dialect because it just it gives you that Pan-Africanness, you know. Like I'd want to see that here in Kenya, where we are embracing our own culture, our own thing, and there's diversity.
We're getting there. We're getting there. We have artists like Kobole. We have artists like Nemaheni. We have Kwame Rigi. We have Erosh. You know, these guys who are coming up, they're singing and doing music in their own dialect, but they're making it so urban that when you first of all start to listen, you're like, this is Kenyan, but it doesn't sound like it's Kenyan. In a sound, Western, Eastern. But yeah, we love it. We love it. And on a time in Akimbia, and I want to give everyone an opportunity to be able to give us the links, because I'm sure there are a lot of people who would want to connect with you. Get to work with you. How do we find you if you want to connect with you?
My social handles are all the same, and they are open. There's nothing private. My life is an open book. It's my full name's Ian Mwaura. Everywhere, on LinkedIn, on IG, on Twitter, on Facebook, on TikTok. It's all the same. So if you just
Ian Mwaura on all social platforms, they'll be able to find you. And then go ahead and check out Cashia. There's a little information you can find, actually. There's some information you can find if you want to know more about Cashia. Just type in on your Google CASHIA.com. So read about it. It's a new innovation that is coming up, and I love it. And when you guys are launching, tukue tafadhali. Let's be there, because we love such spaces. Yeah, we would love to come go ahead and cover that event and get a lot of other people invested in it as well. Anything else we might have left out? Fungue roho kidogo. Actually, your final advice for guys who are now starting up businesses.
Just start.
Thank you. You heard it. You heard it.
Don't.
Anza.
There's that paralysis analysis of, okay, what if I do this? It doesn't work. It
doesn't work.
Just start. You are far better off if you start and screw up, and you fail and you screw up again. You will keep starting until you just need to be right once.
Because you can't fail, with the same thing twice, unless you're not taking notes.
You can fail as many times as you can, as you will be even, but you only need to be right once. And you will not be right once if you don't start.
Umesikia? Don't be afraid to fail. Sawa, because
and
every failure is a lesson, man.
Please fail forward. This is the tagline I'm using on all my. I use this on all my caps. You see. So that's the tagline I always encourage myself. If you're going to fail, please fail forward.
I love that.
Right?
Fail forward.
Fail early. Fail quickly. Fail forward.
Right. You got it, manze. You got it. Start. Do not be afraid to fail, and if you fail forward. So, and if you fail, don't just stop there. Start again, and it's always a learning curve whenever you're starting a business. And of course, we have such amazing personalities here to help us. Ndio maana tumewaleta hapa. So do not be afraid also to go out there and ask for information. Do not be afraid to ask. But also note, it's not everyone who's going to guide you through the right direction. So know exactly who you're asking. Sawa. Darren, any last words, any advice you had told us?
Any shout-outs you want to shout out to anybody who was listening or tuning? Oh, yeah.
Well, for me, simply as my closing statement is just a word of encouragement. And if you guys will allow me, I'll read to you one of my favorite quotes. It's actually my wallpaper. It's from a legend, my fashion icon, who I look up to. It's called Mike Amiri. Mike Amiri is the founder and CEO of Amiri. Yes, sir. He says, print your t-shirt idea and you're a designer. Start painting and you're an artist. Spin music for your friends and you're a DJ. You don't need anyone's permission nor approval. Once you decide who you are, then you become who you are meant to be.
You know what? I'm not gonna
I can rewind.
I'm not gonna add any sauce to that. Take it as you've heard it, manze. Sawa sawa. Start.
Go for it.
Apo sawa. If you want to find Darren Knitgram on Instagram, this guy has amazing fashion wear.
At
gmail.com.
LinkedIn, Darren Karanja. Yeah.
Apo sawa. We're gonna go ahead and head on to Mihai. Mihai, I don't know if you had a couple of comments from your end. Kuna watu wamekuongelesha. I don't know if you'll say hi to them and thank them for us, because if they tuned in to listen to this amazing show, we also blessed. Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna say hi to a couple of your friends.
So first of all, I would like to shout out to everyone who tuned in for the Quorum show today. It was much better than I was expecting, honestly. Like we brought like a triangle, like from the lowest to the middle to the super highest.
Imagine.
And it was really, even for me, from today, it was not just for me to speak out, talk out, but also to learn something from Ian.
Wow. And not only taught someone, you've actually also learned something.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And I really hope we can do this again soon.
Bro, one thing about the Quorum show is that every person that we interact with, from the first person that we had as a guest, those are people we keep as friends. These are people we interact with. If it's just that my phone has gone off, whenever we go on live and we are on, we're live on radio here, all those guys will tune in. And so I want to also say thank you to Akina Pinky Gelani. I want to say to Multiverse, to Justin Jerry. Do you have a couple of comments you're gonna read? Oh, kabisa.
Blowing up. Oh, thank you Gikunyo. Thank you. Anasema kwanza anasema yo mambo yako kula stock hapo. Amefika hapo. So thank you Gikosh, the captain, for always tuning to the Quorum show. Also known as the Alberto ako in it. Ninaona Play KE. It's someone anajiita Play KE. Also ako live na anashinda to repost and saying that we have a very good forum right about here. Ninaona pia Nyambuchi is on our Twitter pia. Ninaona tu watu waki-tweet na retweet. Naona Mapasu just followed us na akasema we are having an amazing show. Thank you. This Barely Miss. Thank you, Barely Miss, for following us and retweeting and joining our live. Thank you, everyone who has really joined us and oh yeah. And there's Wangoi here. Are you single and searching?
That is a question for Mia. Mia, you have to answer that question again. Last time you did, you're gonna have to answer that again.
I am single, not searching.
Wangoi doga kwe goro. Wangoi. It is okay, man. We love the love. We love it. Mihai of Fellows is doing an amazing job. I want to commend you.
Thank you
on taking care of our health, taking care of our shows. Because now I can actually buy a box of cookies for my shows, and she'll take it and she'll be like, yeah, amazing. Unajua. Previously, currently, if you take anything sweet to my shows, anakupiga nayo, you'll get hit with it. So we want to thank you for taking care of, our diabetic friends. And I know there's so much more products coming up. So whenever you have something new, we are here.
We'll come up here. We'll do the testing live.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Remember, hey, yani, hii conversation by the Jaisha. Yeah, our conversation is still ongoing on Instagram.
Oh yeah,
So
on
let's keep
Twitter,
going and interact with these individuals.
on our
Send
WhatsApp. Yeah, kabisa, just keep
Ongea na
texting
kina
us.
Mihai, ongea na kina Darren, ongea na Ian, and if you want to see them again on this show, just like you did Mihai, all you need to do is tell us. Tuambie huyo mtu huyo mwenye alikuwa last time akuje, and we will definitely have that for you, man.
Mmoja hapa aliuliza, alitisha Mihai na ubaya sana. He was like, I will even pay to listen to that show again. There's Mwaura Parikoin. He's a young startup. He's starting a young printing press company in Montcoin Limited. So he really did get so much from last time. This whole week he was like, you need to get that guy back. So Mwaura Parikoin, thank you very much for being a fan of this show and loving what we are doing.
And also thank you to Mihai for bringing us such amazing personalities. Darren and Ian, innovators. You guys are doing an amazing job, and Kenya needs such mindsets. So unajua, Mount Coin, go ahead and look up Cashia. So this is something that can help you out in terms of making it easier for your customers, number one, to find you, and number two, to make payments for you. So go ahead and read about Cashia. If need be, register with them so that when they're ready to, start off or start, making things work, pia wewe uko hapo. Sawa 0110254254. In case you have any more questions even after the show, we are always ready to answer. So go ahead and eat us up. For all those who requested for music zenye hatujacheza, ni conversation imebamba, si kupenda kwetu. Sasa kama tuko na Ian na anatuonesha venye tutakuwa wase wealthy, mbona tusimsikize? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We love you though. Let us meet next time, Saturday 9 a.m. mpaka 12 in the a.m. pale www.254.radio, www.twitch.com, and the conversation is still ongoing on Instagram, #254.radio, #the Quorum Show. You can also follow these individuals on their Instagram, Ingieni Fellows, Ingieni Nitgram, and Ingieni Cashia, and follow these individuals. And let us start. Let us start. It has been real. My name is Biko, the big CEO, just in case you didn't know.
And my good name is Abel, Mr. Sam Uthonde, and you already know what we're doing here at the Quorum. We keep it real. Nataka our brother Moza akuje hapa atuambie
kuna haja. Mr. Teddy got into the building, manze. Thank you for making it. Majuku yes. Koaje, you'll tell us about that. Easy flights zako buda zina take long. But we understand when you have to take 2 flights to get to where you're going, unaishi mbali. Kamulu ni mbali buda. But thank you so much for joining us. Remember to keep it 254.radio. Waambie ni show gani na Cambro.
Backbenchers wanakuza. Darren anasema akona connection at the backbenchers. So listen, hey Alex, big up yourself. Hey, watu wa Manchester ndo tunaongea hapa sahi. So hao wengine tokeni inze. Watu wa Arsenal mnakimbia sana kufika, lakini we coming.
Manze. Alafu Pinky Gelani, when you get this cookie, please tell me how it tastes, and then tell me which one you got. Tafadhali, tell me which one you got. Tell me how it tasted. Kwa sababu
hatuamini hata sisi. As always, we say do love,
make love,
be love,
spread love,
everything love.
Tunawapenda bure.
Bure kabisa. The Quorum Show 254 Radio.
Goodbye. We are out of here. Wacha mimi nikule hizi cookies. Hey. Wacha nikule cookies.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Cheer. Super. Ati squeezy marapa na maembe. Adile afko to my coast. Adi temo takuwa ready. Yeah. Mwembe tayari, say kuna motero wana plan kukon Kanyari. Pony si Kenya no more. After the 4th Jesus sai wana plan kukon Kanyari.